Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to ASL Prime Group H, the final group of the round of 32. We're bringing you a TVZ for the first time this evening. And that T in the top right, in the blue, representing Storm Gaming, it is the Terran player who is not going to be forfeiting any more games tonight. It is Intense.
And his opponent spawning in the bottom left is going to be the Red Zerg player, representing XL5 Gaming. It is PiG. You know, the reason why Intense forfeited his game is because he actually didn't know who his first opponent was. And he 2-0'd Saber, the Storm that knocked out his power. Soup the whoop.
Oh, let's not make any jokes about knocking out the power. It's not making any
God'll strike me down.
Can't risk it.
He will strike me down with a
vicious blow.
Nice thunderbolt from the sky. But Intense is a North American player. He's pretty young, and he has been showing up quite a bit in a lot of these tournaments, online for the most part. But he was recently at IEM San Jose, and recently also did join Storm Gaming. He did used to be part of IVD. And he's a very strong Terran player.
He's GM, isn't he? He's high GM.
High GM in Korea as well.
There you go. That's a good sign. When you're high GM in Korea, you've got to be doing something right. But I bet even Korea's got its ladder heroes.
Yeah, true that, right?
Yeah, even
they usually
Korea.
come in the form of just like life. I've seen the Korean ladder in about like 8 people that have the name something life, just pretending to be life.
No, they're all Life Smurfs accounts, but he just is
he plays them all at the same time as well.
Yeah. He's an active player. You've got to give him credit for that. So this Reaper going in, it's going to scout the base of PiG, just kind of checking out what's going on in there. Did see that there wasn't that much gas mined, but you know that speed is coming out usually when a Zerg is opening in this style. But it's good to know that they've gone for gas, because it tells you a lot about where they're planning to go in the game. If a Zerg goes gasless, they're more likely to go towards maybe a Roach style, maybe Roach Hydra, maybe Mutalisks, just something that is an early game with Lings. If they get speed, it can be for safety. It can also just be for transitioning towards the Lingbei Muta. So it's clues, it's hints, it's fragments.
Yeah. Saber one-upping me. Oh, he did show it on stream.
Worst. Worst.
This pause is... Remove sunglasses. Intense.
And Intense just responding, I get that a lot.
Well,
yeah.
Yeah, like you were saying though, getting the speed does just show that he wants to be a little bit safer, or he could even want to go into exactly right. So, but the fact that he pulled out of the gas means that he's just going to most likely be making a bunch of drones, using all of those resources and those drones just to funnel in those minerals so that he can make more drones. And you know what? When you have more drones, you can make more stuff. When you have more stuff, you can make it to the round of 16 after winning games. So,
as a wise man once said. And
5 seconds ago, that guy me.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They go for a pretty quick third base in the current meta. It's not early, but it's certainly not a delayed third base. And if this is scouted by the Hellions, by the Reapers, then it will be a pretty good indication to Intense that his opponent isn't going for anything kind of too rushy, isn't going for a big Roach play, isn't for about kind of 8 to 9 minutes at least, isn't going for anything too generally just tech heavy. He's getting himself into a stable position rather than anything that relies on a mistake on the Terran's part, or something that is a bit of a gamble with an all-in or a very aggressive push.
Which is what is coming out of Intense right now. It was scouted by PiG. The armory is on the way, about halfway done, and the starport will be there to heal, as well as allow for some elevator action. But PiG is going to be relatively well defended against this, as he's making a lot of lings. He already has 3 of these queens, which can pick off the medevac if they do choose to, but they're just very resilient against Marines and Hellions. But he's going to need to get those lings out ASAP and get banelings, because how bad
is but still. Yeah, exactly. The Hellbats are going to be on their way in just a moment. And here they come, immediately transforming in, starting being... Oh, God, so many Zerglings just went down in that first wave. But all the bio has been killed as well. PiG defending really nicely against that attack from Intense, and I think that we might even see another Hellbat go down.
Yeah,
maybe not.
That was really good by PiG. utilizing the fact that if Intense was to transform right there, then, you know, they're vulnerable for about, you know, 3 or so seconds, I think it is. So that period of time where the Lings were there and popping out at the exact same time made it so that he was able to deal with the push that usually will require Banelings to deal with, and he got the medevac with the Queen. So this is a very great spot for Pig. He has a third base up, and he is transitioning into the mid-game, perhaps, but I don't even see a lair, so, hey, man.
Yeah, maybe not. 2 Evos coming down from Pig. And actually, Intense hasn't seen that third base that you mentioned. That has not been scouted by him at all. He can reasonably assume that it's there with the shape of the creep spread that he saw, with the fact that the Lings kind of weren't in production. Obviously, those larvae were going somewhere, and presumably it was drones for the third. But he doesn't necessarily know. He's just got to have a pretty good indication. And in general, I'd like to see a bit more pushing out from him. He's moving out with these Hellions now, going to head down from the look of things towards the third base, and might try and put on the hurt to some drones over there.
Yeah, so here comes a lair out of Pig on the way. And I was thinking that if he was waiting for his upgrades, but no, the fact that he went for that lair makes me think that, you know, that push threw him off just a little bit and he didn't forget it for a sec. But it's not really going to hinder him too much as long as he's able to deal with the drops that are inevitably, well, possible actually from Intense. We don't know if he's going to be going for just that power style because he just went into a push, like he did a push that is supposed to do a lot of damage. It didn't do anything, so he is playing a bit from behind. Didn't have that third command center out as fast as he would like it to be, but I mean he's still getting his upgrades and he's still getting that third just at a later time and setting up his infrastructure in a really nice way.
I think it did do something, though, that push, because it forced a lot of Lings to be made instead of drones. So instead of necessarily, like, it didn't do any direct damage, certainly, but indirect damage, it's an opportunity cost. And when Zerg has those extra resources, that's one of the things that I think people underestimate how critical it is. And it's why early pressure is so frustrating for Zerg, because they have to get to that drone count to the point where they can actually really make units in a useful way outside of the cheeses. And so it's not too bad for either player, but obviously Pig has caught back up in workers now with 69 and a fourth base completed over in that corner.
Yes, already completed. Spire is on the way, Baneling speed as well, and that push did delay the 1-1 of Intense, so this is a situation where the Zerg is ahead in upgrades right now, so he's going to have his 1-1 finished, and if he starts 2-2 immediately, he will be in a better position, but you know, you do need to get that hive in order to get 3-3, so sometimes we don't even see that happen, where the Zerg will stay ahead in upgrades the whole game, because he's just trying to survive
who just never built a hive. Scarlet never built a hive, does she?
No. I mean, a lot of Zergs nowadays have just begun to do that, where they pretty much bypass the hive and just go for the super lair tech, old school DRG kind of style, just because they just feel like they can't afford it. But oh, the surround was possible. That would be enough.
It was still nice. This Bioforce is stimming forward to try and do some damage, supported by Widow Mines, of course, which will make all the difference in these critical engagements against massive amounts of Lings. But actually, no, the Widow successfully borrows, going to go off, take out just one Baneling in that.
Not bad at all. Here comes the Overseer to save the day, cleaning up those Widow Mines. And Intense, though, setting up his third. He has it. He's really nice on SCVs. He's already making a fourth base as well, so he's thinking in the long term. A lot of Terrans get stuck in that mentality where they're just like, all right, I'm on 3 bases, parade push, go, go, go. But no, Intense is going to be even on upgrades now as he does start his 2-2. But I love this run-by potential of Pig. Usually you want to do it with Banelings because of this bunker placement that you do see out of Intense.
Yeah, but so much of Intense's army is kind of across the map, out of position, that actually this attack is going to be pretty successful, I think.
Yeah.
These Lings are going to stream into the third base, doing a lot of damage and forcing the pull of the main forces from the bio, the reinforcement wave, to be kind of aggroed over to deal with the rest of those guys.
Yep.
What happened on... Yeah, they survived, just about. The medevac survived on the other side of the map.
Oh, okay. And the Vikings still hunting around. How many kills do you have? You have 2 kills? Come on, Viking, put in some more work and get those Overlord kills. But mutas are now on the map. They were delayed for quite a bit, but they are now out, and drops will not be as effective. But Intense, he is going for the gold already, and he's probably going to be ramping up in this production very shortly if Pig does not put on the pressure on him.
Oh, the Widow's not getting the shots they wanted off on those Banes. We might see Drilling Claws following this up for Intense. It's always good to get that, to add it on. And that fourth base is rapidly becoming a planetary fortress at the gold base. It's going to be really nice for Intense to get that extra income. And I'm surprised to see that Pig hasn't taken his, but maybe that's his 5th base location.
Yeah, I'm assuming he'll probably take that gold base as well. But the run buys are trying to go down here again for Pig. There's nothing here at the third, so now Intense does have to get into position. He does see them run by, so that's another advantage of having the gold base, even though it can be hard to defend sometimes. You do see those run bys if you're paying attention to that minimap.
Well, these guys, I'm sure, are paying attention to the minimap. At this point, though, that seemed like a bit of a Intense moving his army forward, and actually on the other side of the map, forcing a pickup once again. Nice drops out of the medevacs onto the banelings to instantly split the Marines as effectively as possible. I think that drop on that side is going to be cleaned up, but the reinforcement wave is heading towards the natural. I think the Banes are going to clean that up pretty nicely, actually.
Oh, so much damage being done here from Pig, and he has hit a perfect time where Intense is trying to get into that macro mode as he gets his fourth up, but there are lings everywhere at the moment. But the third has been cleaned up. Marauders are going to hold the line. Not going to make these lings too effective, but the natural is getting ravaged. Uh-oh, Intense is falling really low in supply right now, and Pig just needs to keep on making units as well. He doesn't have a lot of larva at the moment, so if he can spend this money, he could have definitely overran Intense, but he's going to try to do it. I don't know if he's going to be able to.
He's done good damage, though. 38 workers killed with that attack, and maybe a couple beforehand, but Intense down to 36 in total to the 88 of Pig. He's overdroned, if anything, but I think that he's exactly where he wants to be honest. And yeah, a Widowmine going off on the Overseer, saved the Mutalisks.
And if that Overseer goes down too?
Not quite, doesn't quite get it.
But here's the problem here. You know, the army value of Intense is going to be able to be a lot higher because of his lower SCV count. And if Pig can't defend here, there's going to be a force that he just can't deal with. 3-3 is on the way, and look what he's doing here. A style that we don't see too often is mastered by few, to be honest. And by a few, I mean like Snoot, because he's going to try to get Swarmhost into this mix. I saw Kane try this against Intense even yesterday, just in the same map as well. And if you can get the Swarmhost out, it is so hard for the Terran to actually trade efficiently anymore, as the Swarmhost Locusts do very well against this bio.
Ooh, I'm seeing a run by towards the natural and third. Once again, Pig just chucking lings at the problem. And at this big Marauder force, even though they aren't good against lings, does manage to clean it up fairly effectively. But yet more SCVs being killed off. Not enough, I think, to make that investment worth it, but it's all just to buy time for these Swarmhosts to get out on the map. 8 of them in production, adding in those ranged attacks. Ooh, it's gonna get hairy.
Yeah, 11 Swarmhosts are on the way. Pig spending it up now, and he's gonna set up this location in the middle of the map, as he does have that gold base at his disposal if he does choose to take it. But Intense is on the move right now. He has a greater army value, and he is looking for blood right now. Does Pig have enough? He is going to need to get those Enduring Locusts out. They do have that upgrade finished, and +1 is done. If he can get this position and not allow Intense to really get any good position and clean up the creep even, this could be a situation where Intense is going to be trading unfavorably for a little bit of time.
It's not exactly where you want to be. This attack at the front, though. Huge Banes.
Big Widowmine hit a lot of those, too.
Oh, maybe that was what I saw. Intense does seem to be running away from that engagement, but the Swarmhosts are just going to keep pumping those free units out. You can't trade cost effectively there. Swarmhost versus Bio is considered to be a serious risk, but with Mutas out first, if the Bio tries to lift up and dominate the map, the Mutas can deal with the medevacs, and if it stays on the ground, it has to fight the free units.
Yeah, and the creep spread allows this mobility, it allows that vision, because it's all about positioning and timing. If you don't get your units in position in time, then this Bioforce, such as the one that is moving on the bottom left of the map, will be able to try to get a snipe off, but no, Pig knows when it's coming, gets the units there in time, and he is going to be forced to retreat most likely here, unless he wants to lose his whole army.
Being shoved back by the massed Baneling force. There's not really that many units left for Intense, and the Swarmhosts have now come in. The Locusts are going to force this Bio back, even with the Widowmines to help. Yep.
Big push on the left side. Well, not too big, but just a little bit of a strike force trying to take out that 5th base of Pig. Not going to get it unless these lings funnel in. These are 3-3 bios, so they do quite a bit of damage. Hive is on the way here, and that's what the Swarmhost allows you to do. It buys you some breathing room because you're trading, units that are free. You can afford Hive. You can afford different upgrades as soon as you get the Hive, and you don't have to worry about constantly trading units that you just that blow up after every
engagement. Exactly. That could be a huge Widowmine. No, you know what? It went off a little bit late. That Widowmine did not manage to kill the Banelings when it needed to, and instead all of the bio getting destroyed. One getting a Mutalisk up towards the 4th base, but these Locusts are going to advance towards the 4th now. This may not be long for this world, because there's not a huge amount. Oh, nice scan.
There's a lot of Widowmines, though, going down in the 4th base of Pig, but Intense is going to be losing his army in the middle of the map, while Pig loses a lot of drones inside of that base, but, I mean... What was he at? About 80-something? He's only at 79 at the moment, but he doesn't need them as much as his bank is starting to get quite big. And he just has a great position right now on Intense, because Intense has not taken the 5th base throughout all of this, and he is starting to run extremely low on minerals.
Yeah, this is
just
the strength.
Resources, period.
True. This is the strength of Zerg, though. They bank up those minerals, they bank up those lava, and then when you kill off when you fight and you trade armies, Zerg has an army very, very quickly, once again, to defend the push. There is going to be this push from Intense down towards the 3rd and 4th bases, and I'm not totally sure if Pig is going to be in position to deal with this. This is actually quite a scary bioforce.
It is.
Oh,
the Banelings are coming though. And the Lings from the backside. Should be able to clean this up. There are actually quite a few Marines here. Just not that many medevacs here, too. And yeah, that gets cleaned up left. This is not looking good for Intense, as even his planetary fortress is starting to get seized by those swarm hosts. And he's just broke. He's just broke. He doesn't have the money that, he was in a situation where he has a great army supply because of the lower STV count. But over time, if you're able to hold out as a Zerg player, it looks really bad for the Terran.
That is always the way, though. If you sacrifice macro for army, you can do it for a little while, but you've got to do damage. You've got to make sure you make that army work for you while it lives, because it's not going to be there forever. You can't afford to keep it. It just doesn't work. And Intense, especially
in the Maga series too. Remember when he was just going crazy with the roaches and whatnot? But
another force of Intense cleaned up over towards the right-hand side. It's just more and more losses on his part. Even with the good upgrades, the good upgrade advantage that he has, he's not able to make it work. Because 3 units are free, and everything else in Pig's army is all over the place, denying everything else.
Yep, the creep allows the mobility, and the swarm hosts just give position. They give that feeling of a threat, while Intense, usually is the one that would love to be putting on the pressure as a Terran player. Pig is everywhere, going to force the lift up on that 5th base. And Intense's army is looking pretty pathetic at the moment.
Yeah, not at all where he wants to be in this stage of the game. And the command center, the desperate command center, as it's picked up, as he loses his army in front of that. GG, and Pig takes the first game.
Gentlemen, we are back here in this match between these two players. It is a Zerg hailing from Australia. It is going to be the XL5 Zerg Pig.
And his opponent across the map, wearing a beautiful blue, from Psystorm Gaming, it is the Terran player Intense.
Alright.
I've been seeing some good suggestions in the chat.
Oh man, those are so good. Oh my god.
I love them so much.
The Lazarus match.
I actually prefer Phoenix match, as I said, but I prefer Phoenix match, but it sounds like the unit Phoenix, so I think it's going to have to be Lazarus match, and that's all I'm ever going to be seeing this as. I'm going to try and use that as much as possible, see if I can get it to spread around.
Yeah.
But yeah, just a pretty normal kind of opening coming out of Intense. Getting that Reaper, his opponent going for a hatchery, I think after pool, but I'm not totally sold on that. No, can't be, because it's finished now and the firstlings are on their way.
Yep, and the Reaper is here, trying to do a little bit of damage, but it's not going to get too much done. Is Intense going to go straight for that macro style, or will he add on another Reaper? No, not going to be the case. He went for the reactor first, and then it will make those Marines. But he's just doing some nice little micro here against these Lings. And typically you won't really lose much as a Zerg here. It's just the Lings are there to die, but I think like nowadays, Zergs have been getting so good that they don't even lose anything at all. Like it used to be like they would lose at least a few drones, and then they were like, alright, this is not acceptable. Let's make Lings, and then you lose a few Lings, and that was not acceptable, and now it's like, I don't want to lose anything but HP, and soon that will not be acceptable,
Queens are a good unit though.
Yes, they are.
They're so cheap, considering how much health they have and the fact that they're a spellcaster. The fact that they only cost minerals and not that much of them is quite something. They are an incredibly good unit for how much they cost.
They do very well, even in the late game against certain things. Like if in ZVZ you have mutas, the transfuse ability is like worth its weight in energy, I guess. And then
Gold too, gold minerals.
Yeah, that's true. Nice, yeah.
Yeah. Intense going for what seems to be a very similar style to the previous game with these double gases, and but this is where the change up happens, because previously we saw a medevac and we saw a push towards Hellbats. Instead, Banshee Cloak is on the way, and something would be building. A Banshee would be building, but there was a momentary supply block. I think that's just part of the build there. It was for a brief moment. It's not worth worrying about. But that Banshee is going to be coming out soon. Going to be trying to put the hurt on the drones of PiG, probably in the natural if it's not scouted.
This is a very nice map for Banshees, of course. But this opener from PiG is this the first 100 gas that he's mined. I'm wondering. He has speed already done. He's just starting to mine again, so nothing too crazy. He does have his third on the way, and he never got a scout on anything there. He's only seen the reactors on the factory. So he doesn't know about these Banshees that are on the way, and if it's anything like last game, and his lair is delayed, then
that is a nice
he's going to
word
have
too.
a little bit of trouble if he doesn't have that Spore Crawler up. So he needs to get a little bit of a scout on. Do not want that Banshee to be the first time that you get scout. Like, I guess it's in my base, I scout Banshees, but no, that's not what you want.
No, it's never good to scout an enemy's tech by going, oh, that's what's killing my workers. So we do actually already see a Spore Crawler coming down, so some kind of indication has been had of this. But where? What was it?
I think it flew the Overlord that is in the natural.
That'd do it.
May have caught a glimpse of it.
Yeah, that would do it. So this Banshee going to hover outside the natural base, start doing some damage.
Yeah, and it's actually going to get a few kills already. Already 3 kills done that it did take out. I don't know what... Did Intensus run his other units away, or did he run them in? He didn't run them in, so really nice moves here. Using the Banshee as his main damage dealer, and not suiciding the rest of his units out, because they can be very useful later, and they give him that map control for now.
Yeah, I mean, even if you just get an armory a little bit later when you're trying to go towards +2, and then you convert the Hellions that you retain into Hellbats for additional Zergling protection, it's a nice thing to have. They tank Banelings well, they kill off Zerglings well. It's just good to keep those units and not have to keep producing more and more Hellions if you want to use that additional tanking.
Yeah, and he's continuing to make Hellions too. So, Intense maybe favoring... I don't see the armory just yet, but I was wondering if he was the type of player that did favor Hellbats in his army composition. We saw a lot of Widow Mines in the last game, but he's making a lot of Hellions, man, and that is quite the threat. And there's really not on the ground here for PiG. He actually doesn't have anything, man. Those are the lings that he has right now, and those Banelings are going to be his lifeline. But,
look at the micro, just dancing those Hellions back again and again. Unfortunately, a couple of them do go down in the end, but in general, so nice out of Intense. I just love what he's doing with this, and going to kill off that Baneling without doing anything as well. He is, even with this huge Hellion force that Intense has made, he is intending to go towards Bio, because he's made a lot of barracks at this point. Getting 2 more, adding them on, he's going to be going in that direction, and even a third base to follow this up. These Hellions are doing such a good job of applying the pressure.
Yeah. He did quite a bit there, forced out units, even forced out the morphing of the Banelings, which is going to delay the mutas even more. We saw the mutas get delayed last time, and like the last thing you want to do as a Zerg player is spend gas on Banelings when you're trying to get them mutas out. Because they haven't even got their chance to be used yet, so... Intense doesn't screw up here. Oh no!
Oh, but he might have done. Oh, the Banelings! All of those Hellions killed off. They aren't going to be doing the Hellbat transformation anytime soon.
Nope, not at all. And that is a big blow. Gives PiG so much breathing room. He has a lot of lings. Has a Baneling that's done. He's going to drone up to 13 right now. He actually could get a good surround here if he wanted to, but I don't think he was paying attention to it.
No. It was a beautiful surround a minute ago, though. I mean, he just flanked those Hellions in that moment of indecision from Intense. Boom. Instantly, every single harassing unit killed off by the Banes. And you were talking about how he's spending the gas on something he doesn't want to be spending them on. Absolutely. But he made them work, and that is what matters. Yeah.
Like, that is the best situation for a Terran when you don't make them use their Banes, but you make them. Oh, but no, Intense losing even more. Getting a little bit sloppy with his units right now, and the Spire is on the way. PiG does feel confident in order to get these out, as he has taken out 2 big waves of Hellions. And this is going to make this push here not as strong. You know, you see this kind of parade push all the time that assaults the Zerg's third.
I mean, the one good thing about this, there's no banelings right at this moment to deal with this. That's the good thing. So this is being taken out because there's nothing to stop it.
Yeah, I feel like he should have danced a little bit with the Lings, but he didn't want to risk losing everything and then having it turn into a kind of snowball effect where it just gets bigger and you can't even hold on because you wasted too many units. But he lost his fourth, and, you know, this is not the biggest deal, only because Intense did delay his third for a little bit as well. But you want this fourth running because this is the most hard, like, this is one of the most difficult defenses, I think, in StarCraft 2. This is like final boss of defense. Defending your fourth against the Terran that is going to be on 3 bases and pushing down from that side as well. It gets so difficult to do.
Yeah, it can be a real struggle, but at this point, with the bio not actually being killed off by Intense yet, like, he's doing such a nice job of keeping this harassing force alive, and beautiful choice to drop there as well, driving away the mutas, because none of the ground forces can harass Intenses. It's just the right place to be. Oh, the banelings are going round though. Look at that.
Uh-oh, he might not even notice this coming.
Oh, this is unfortunate. Here it comes.
Well then, it's not something you expect. You expect to be safe here. You're gonna get a few kills. But yeah, this is very nice from PiG, never allowing Intense to retain his units or his medevacs. If those stay there, the threat of them becomes pretty annoying. But now they're taken out, and he's able to rally up his forces to get ready for this defense, because it is coming.
Oh, it's coming. It is on its way at this point. That's a lot of Zerglings. We're going to see some more Banes made, I think, out of these guys, and maybe a few more meters added on.
He doesn't need more Banes right now. He's only on 3 Banelings, so PiG needs to get this. Like, you need to be making Banes as you're defending here. You can't be on the defense or on the back foot. His creep spread is pretty damn good, though. I'm loving that. However, yes, this is exactly what he needs to do. Get a healthy amount of mutas, and then the rest just goes into Banelings until you can overcome this force. And then even doing some counterattacks would be a good idea, but he actually is looking like he wants to do it.
He's thinking about it. He's weighing it up.
Yeah,
I think Intense is still looking pretty nice. He's on this.
He was on top of that, 100%. But you know what? Intense is actually not starting this attack yet. He's just getting maxed out, getting a lot of units. And PiG is also, you know, he's waiting for it, you know. He has 111 Zerglings right now, 24 Banelings. That's a lot of Lings, man.
He is going to do some... The Drilling Claws upgrade has not finished, and that could have been the difference between a big Zerg army and a small one in that moment. All of those Widow Mines are gone now. Like, there's 2 left, and one of them is fired.
He did not get this split on them. That's a really good creep spread that allows that. So, that could have been so much better for Intense, but he just stepped on the creep and then was like, oh, there's Lings and Banes there, and this is because this is PiG's house. He is on the creep. He is getting a 6 around right now, and oh my god.
That is a big deal. A lot of bio just screamed and died, and all of the Zerg forces are going to crush through that. Once again, Intense using the scenery really nicely, but on the note of exploiting scenery, look down towards the natural of Intense, because PiG was coming up through those rocks. He's done a lot of work on those.
He's,
the surround is happening again.
But there's a Marine and a Marauder there, but yeah, the surround is on the way. There's not that many mutas at the time, but if Intense loses these medevacs as well as those units, it's not going to be looking too good. But this is Intense's style. Like, he gets to 4th very early, and then he was going to start his push. Like, you know, a lot of the times you see Bomber who does it, like, with the 3 bases. This is Intense right now with that 4th base, and then he wants to get this position, which makes his push even stronger. And PiG is going to need to get on a 5th base, try to get up to that hive, which he is. And he's getting the range upgrade again left, so I think we are going to see the Swarm Host.
Look at the run-bys. Look at the run-bys all over the place.
Yeah.
Going for this run-by towards the 3rd. He's got Lings and Banes morphing towards the natural. I think he's going to bust in through. This is just exactly how he tore Intense apart in the previous game, by being everywhere. But Intense is dealing with it a lot better this time, or at least he was until the natural burst.
Yeah, there's so many Lings inside of the natural, but does PiG have enough to hold his 4th? He really doesn't have that much here. It's the mutas and then some Lings and Banes, but PiG is making sure that he gets great value out of these run-bys. Doesn't want to just lose them to the armies of Intense that are kind of hanging back, but there it is. It is enough here for PiG, although he does lose his 4th base, which is a shame because Intense has his on up.
Yeah, his is looking good. That has been a certain amount of damage taken back in the base of Intense, though. He's still got a lot of SCVs kicking around, because so many of them have been transferred down towards the 4th base. But his army is a bit beleaguered, running away from this Mutaflog now as the medevac boosts away.
Natural of Intense goes down as well, so there's really not that many SCVs mining at the 4th. There's 3. Oh, there's armies at the 3rd of Intense, but the SCVs are trying to transfer, and they're going to try to get it done. But guess where Pig's army is, and that is right there at that planetary. But, oh, the Banelings did go down. I feel like if he had capitalized on that, he would have been able to get a lot of SCV kills.
Yeah, a drop in the 3rd of Pig as well. This is such an action-packed game, a very intense game, you might say.
Yeah, one would say.
Yeah, and Intense is doing such a good job of just harassing his opponent back and in equal order. Once again, going to pick off that 4th base. Pig is starting to be starved out a little bit. The income, his income is kind of dropping below Intense's now a little.
Yeah, his army value is not there. 3-3 is about to finish, and as soon as 3-3 finishes, that's not going to be good at all, because he's not necessarily just obliterating this army and then pushing it back. He's just kind of cleaning it up. We'll chase it back. Medevacs get away. But here he goes. He needs to clean this up 100%. Can he do it? The splits of Intense are great.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the thing is, there's still that bio there, and Marines versus Mutas is so scary. Another run by.
Yep. Oh, the medevacs of Intense going down as well. And now, so much. This is such a slugfest.
One medevac left.
Yeah, Pig needs to get double expansions right now. He needs to just get those bases so that when one gets sniped, he can transfer them over there. Does not want to be going up against Intense with 4 bases up.
No, absolutely not. Intense. I mean, he's rebuilt that natural as well. Got that going along. And the Bane's now morphing outside the 4th base. I think Intense, he drives them away, but the threat of his presence. The Mutas instead going around for a counterattack into the natural and actually taking a lot of damage to the Marines there. The Pig not noticing, not microing those very well.
Yeah, he needs to be careful here, but here comes the setup. Debating into it is going to be enough. Oh, the other base goes down here for Pig. But there are a lot of Banes here. The Thor goes down, so the Mutas will be pretty effective. Widowmine trying to get something done, but no, not going to be the case. Wow, this is crazy, yo. I feel like Pig just is holding on. He's doing so well, getting 3-3 on the way, and he's just going for that super duper bling style with the Mutas getting whatever they can get done. Killing so many medevacs this game, man. Like, you want to know how many medevacs have died this game?
It is a lot. How many is it?
16 medevacs
have gone
down this game. 16. That's like losing Mutas, man. When you say, oh, you're throwing your Mutas away, you don't want to be throwing those gas units away at all. But Pig needs to be a little bit careful here because his income is not that great. And Intense still has the mules dropped at that 4th base.
Yeah, he can call those down. He has just lost a lot of workers in an attack towards the 3rd and the natural. The 2-pronged attacks that Pig has been using all game are so excellent at tearing opponents apart. That's what he's been trying to do. That's his main strategy. And Intense has handled it a lot better in this game, but I'm not sure if he's doing it enough that he's going to be able to actually win out here. His army supply is going back up, though, so maybe he'll be able to make something work.
Yep, these run-bys are so good. Targeting down 1 turret, so that's going to make the Mutas even more effective when they do go in. And those Mutas are very active. Wow, you are right, left. Pig is everywhere, man. He goes to the right side, then he goes into the left, forces Intense to come over here. Still has units on the right side. They're going to run over to the 3rd. And the thing is, Intense isn't putting on pressure. That is the main thing.
He just puts them on. He just makes them happen.
Yep, there's a drop at the 4th again.
First time in a couple of minutes, though. Like, he's been kept at home so effectively by this constant pressure, and I don't think he's going to be able to take a base for this.
Well, that's nice, though. That's what you have to do. You can't just take the damage. Another drop out the 3rd of Pig. And now Pig is starting to not really fall apart, but he's just having to respond to all this while Intense can breathe. He's breathing.
In the 3rd. Bane's in the 3rd. Oh! Okay, just getting away with that, I think. And a borrowed Bane is seen by Intense, so no mistakes made there. Very lucky. The drop towards the 3rd of Pig is cleaned up by the Mutas and by the Lings. The one over to the 4th is coming back in, and Intense is just repeating what he's seen his opponent do. He's going, well, if you can do it, there's no reason why I can't. I can be everywhere too. Yeah. Super smooth.
Pig has got that base up at the forward side, that 4th, and he also has the other base as well that is being targeted constantly by Intense. But the army value still favors Intense. The 3-3 upgrades are done for both of the players. Oh, Pig is so good at setting these positions up. You know, he sets his army up so that they get the greatest, well, I would say, I almost said concave, but, you know, Lings don't really get them, you know, surrounds.
Surrounds and surface area is that
surface
kind of
area,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, here they come over on the other side. The Ling's trying to get a bit of a surround there. It's a bit of the good surface area, but not quite making it work in that situation. And this is a good pre-split coming out of Intensity. It's going to really help in this fight. Really.
It will.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he's splitting so well here. And is it going to be? Oh, all of those Lings do come out. I don't know if they have the adrenal glands. They don't just yet. Oh, there's just maybe a little bit too much here for Intense. But the Banelings are coming back. Is he looking? Is he looking? That
He's looking.
Is a hero. Oh. Big drop
so
at the fourth
close.
again, and it goes down. So much action in this game. I don't even want to look at the resources lost, but it is so close. I just did it. I had to. 30k to 28, just in Intense's favor by about 1.5 or 2k-ish.
So this has been such a slugfest earlier, Tempo, and I absolutely agree. It has been so much just these players beating on each other as hard as they can, trying to make sure that the other one stays down, and neither one is willing to drop out yet.
Neither of them at all, and I love the fact that PiG was able to get up to that 3-3, because usually what you'll see is that the Terran player will rip apart the Zerg by this point because they just trade too cost efficiently with that 3-3, but no. PiG was able to breathe, gets those run-bys once again at the third, and Intense is moving down the middle side of the map, but is he going to react to this, or is he going to, No, he's just going to continue. He feels like he has to get this damage done, and I love it. He does it all the time.
Well, he's doing it again, certainly. There's even another attack by PiG. That means that each player was orchestrating 2 attacks. There were 4 different things to look at in that moment. But PiG seems to be coming off stronger. He lost his 5th base towards there, but a lot of SCVs and Maroons going down in the natural, in Intense's natural. And
it's down to 19 SCVs.
Well. That's not a lot of SCVs.
Not at all. Although, yes, mules are great. But are they going to be enough? Because this is a nice position here for Intense. The Widow Mines are going to be value. Are they going to get those Banelings? Because if they hit those Banelings with a great hit, it is going to be so bad for PiG.
Oh, they haven't fired yet. They haven't fired. That was it.
Quite, but that was that last hero Widow Mine with his dying breath. But, you know, this is the point of the game where PiG is still continuing with these upgrades. Well, not the upgrades, but the run-bys. And then this base, he just keeps putting up the base. When it goes down, he puts it up somewhere else. It's whack-a-mole for Intense at the moment.
Yeah. It's so difficult to really keep Zergs down at this point because they have that lava production. If you kill 20 drones, they just make 20 drones. Terran doesn't have that liberty. It's 4 drones at a time for the next 2.5 minutes. And all of that is, you know, they've got the money to do it, but it's just the timing and the opportunity cost that's lost in doing so. So the versatility of the Zerg means that they're more able to recover, like the Hydra that we said yesterday.
Yeah, we saw it, huh? Yep.
Yeah.
Well, look at here is going on is that PiG is trying to reestablish his creep spread, and that is something that had kept him really safe in the earlier games. But the Burrowed Banes, that is how you get the value. It's at the edge of the creep. But it has already. No, it's at a part where it's been receded.
He's thinking.
Oh, yeah, and keeping him busy with the run-bys inside of the main at the third. Are we watching life at the moment? Because PiG is just showing that he is not unrelenting, you know, doing what a Terran does best for the most part, but I have a feeling that these Burrowed Banes could get some, if PiG goes and sets up the... Oh my god.
I'm watching.
There's so much damage being done inside of the main. He is setting it up. He could use those Banes, man.
Thought about it.
Could collapse on it. He's looking at him.
He thought about it. This is not looking good for Intense.
Intense doesn't want to scan right now because he is on 1 mining base, and he doesn't have any SCVs. He has 22 SCVs. So he does not want to use a scan right now. He's using all of those into mules if he best can.
He's just trying to get as much money out of this as he can, but in general, the army quality of PiG just seems to be better. He can make those Lings that are so effective. He can turn them into Banelings, which of course deal the splash, and the Mutas don't die because everything else is being fought. The splash damage of Intense has kind of been cleaned up. There aren't many Widow Mines left, if any. Any left? None left?
I don't believe so, but the nice drop is going to be coming here for Intense once more, but there are units here for him. Another drop on the bottom left side, being everywhere at once. PiG has to react really fast here, but he is going to lose the bottom left base. But he will. He
loses the other base too?
I think he saved the other base, though. He had more units there. But Intense, he's down in supply. He's holding on. He has this command center that he could float over to the left side, but PiG has already burrowed a Ling there, although I don't believe it's in the location where it would block it from landing. Not sure. But geez, this is just intense, dude.
What is it?
I couldn't help it. I hate when it's intense because, you know, it's words that you would say. Anyway, but whatever. It's intense. I don't care. It is intense.
It's an intense game. It is. It's really very much.
Pickaxe, that's what it
it's
is.
So dynamic. Yeah, exactly. It's such a dynamic game. It is so aggressive, so back and forth, and intense really is the best word to describe it.
It is, yeah. But I'm a little bit surprised that there hasn't been any Ultralisks, as we haven't really seen too many Marauders, and I think it's just because he's just holding on. Like, he doesn't want to invest in tech and then die because he doesn't have enough units. You know, even the adrenal glands would actually be his best investment right now for Pig. But intense. Oh, tried to run in with a hit squad of Marines to the 4th on the right side and got those burrowed banes to the face.
I missed it.
Well, it did happen. He did lose those Marines. They were very low HP, and they it was only about 5 of them. But you know,
yeah, it's still cool. Banelings are fun. Borrowed banelings are
they are. Yep.
And once again, we're seeing this kind of this style where Intense will pull himself into the high ground, and I thought we were going to see Pig run around when I started this sentence, but instead he's just going over to the far right. He's just keeping himself safe from this drop that is going in. Drilling Claws goes in. I think that could be two mutas.
Yeah, but that position is so nice for him. He doesn't want to waste his mutas at all, although he does have all the gas to spend in the world. Like, have you ever been gas starved? Well, you know, Pig is like here donating, but
I wish.
Mean, it's just crazy at the moment. You know, I feel like Intense is bleeding out now at the moment, just because he's using so many mules at that planetary that he's starting to mine out so much faster than anybody else usually would if you're just mining with workers. Like, he's fully saturated there, and he's dropping mules, so it's he's running out of steam, man. And Pig, he is going in. He is going ham, as some would say.
Yes. Again, it's been a bad matchup for that sort of thing. The third base has been saved of Intense, but he lost 10 workers around it, and that means that he really doesn't have a leg to stand on anymore. He's just mining with 2 SCVs at that base, and that's really all it can support realistically, because it's just right there. All the money is nearly gone. The only base that can mine very well is the third, and that is already down 1 mineral patch, and now down a second as I finish this sentence.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised Intense is still alive at the moment, you know? Like, Pig hasn't been able to close it out. He's been doing so much counter damage, and he's playing this almost like a war of attrition, where it's just like, I'm gonna bleed you out, and then you're not gonna be able to push me anymore. But he's never just been able to get a big force, end the game, get into the production, because Intense has had his army back home, just a little bit of a, you know, small force that will defend against those type of things. The mutas can never really go to get to the production, because once the production gets taken out, that's when you see the turn really start hurting.
Yeah, that is a serious risk, and of course you got to remember that the Zerg production is also their bases. So when you snipe a base, you're getting 2 for 1 out of a Zerg. But at the same time, they do have a lot of other bases, and they don't ever have to build any production other than that base.
And a doom drop that Intense is doomed in. Pig takes the series 2-0 in what was one of the most incredible games I have seen at TVZ on King Sejong, action-packed. He will go on to face Huck in the Lazarus match.